Hey guys, welcome along to the show. I'm your host, Rodney Stewart, and we're getting into Angel in this episode. Season 1, episode 12 is entitled Expecting. So, interestingly enough, this is a bit of useless information, but if you're watching the show just on TV alone, TV has changed so much since this show was aired. This came out January 25th, 2000. Some places, let's just say. As I said, I fell in love with this show. Always enjoyed Buffy, but the Angel spin-off for me was a far, far superior show. Absolutely loved it from day one of it being on TV. So I had decided at that stage, okay, when the DVD box set, when the box set, the VHS box set starts coming out, like this is how long ago this was. VHS was still pretty much a good thing. And yes, the show came out actually on two separate releases throughout the year. You get the first half of the season, and then a few months later you would get the second half of the season on VHS. So I still have all them sitting on the shelf just in the corner of the office here, even now. But the point is, on TV back then in the UK, you had these mad censors that just would check the shows out and decide whether they were going to be trimmed down or just not shown. And out of season 1 of Angel, this was not aired in the UK. And you did notice that in later episodes, where you would have, like at the beginning of an episode, you'd have like previously on Angel, and you'd see a few clips of something that happened earlier in the season. There'd be a couple of little things that would pop up and follow an episode, and you're like, I didn't see that anywhere before. So you started to notice this sort of thing. So 100%, I got the box set, and I was sitting watching through them. I was like, class, I enjoyed this episode, never first shown. Then Expecting came along, and there was no sign of this on TV whatsoever. But streaming these days, they pretty much give you everything. But back when the show first came out, we did not get this in the UK. So it was good to see a new episode when I was going through the box set. And the only thing I can put it down to in this episode, like by today's standards, very, very tame. But Cordelia ends up getting pregnant in this episode, a supernatural pregnancy. So there's the opening of the episode where she goes on a date, they come back, they sleep together. Very, very tastefully done in the episode. But somewhere along the line in the UK censors is like, oh, premarital sex, this cannot be shown on UK television. So it wasn't. So yeah, at the beginning of the episode, Cordelia, she's getting ready to go out for the evening, and Angel tries to work his way through her filing system, which includes a filing of a woman called Mrs. Benson, is filed under F. He can't find her file, and Cordelia tells him it's under F because she's from France. So you get this comedy of Cordelia and her just being a bit, easy going and still sort of childish in this episode. Wesley comes into the office just before Cordelia's friends, Serena and Emily, make an entrance. He's just looking for company at this point. He's feeling lonely, so he's coming around to see how Angel and Cordelia are doing. These two girls, Serena and Emily, make an entrance. They're going to take Cordelia to a club, the Lounge La Brea, to meet a famous photographer, Wilson Christopher. She's apparently been seeing for some time. So Angel takes Cordelia aside to ask her why she hasn't introduced him to the person that she's dating. At this point, she gets a vision, knocks her down behind the desk. So of course, when this happens, it's a tough thing to explain to people. So to cover up what's happening with Cordelia, Angel and Wesley try to distract these two girls. Just try to keep their attention away from Cordelia. The girls conclude that Angel and Wesley are a couple the way they're getting on. So meanwhile, Cordelia forces herself to stand, gives Angel the necessary information about whatever he's supposed to fight, writes down a bit of paper, whatnot, and she gives him like a vague description or just enough to let him know what's going on without it being too obvious to these two girls. So they're trying to hide the visions. So yeah, they then depart, and Angel and Wesley manage to locate and kill the demon. Grateful to face it just hatching from its egg rather than its fully grown form. So you don't have to see any of this here. It's just like there's a lot of noise inside a house, and then they come walking out, and yeah, commenting on Cordelia's lack of reliability. Wesley also makes a disparaging remark about the doxies that she has as friends. He changes his tune mid-phrase when Angel teases, "I think they liked you." So yeah, we cut over to the club, La Brea. Cordelia and Wilson, they're talking, seeming to make a genuine sort of connection. Wilson takes Cordelia home, where after a kiss in the doorway, she invites him to come in, but she has this ghost living with her, Dennis. He registers his displeasure of he's jealous. He's got a bit of a crush on Cordelia, and of course another man been in there, so this ghost isn't happy about it. So you only get to see him once in a previous episode in a flashback that died in the apartment. But if you know the series, you know the episode I'm talking about. So they turn down the lights to make it a little bit more romantic. He'll brighten them back up again, and he puts like a polka song on the radio to try and rack the mood. Yeah, so Wilson and Cordelia kiss again, then end up spending the night together. Of course, they get it on. She wakes the next morning to an empty bed, and she's horrified to find that she's got very pregnant overnight. Like I mean, she's almost a term, like she's 8+ months. Concerned with her absence and unable to reach her by phone for hours on end, Angel and Wesley go to her apartment. They find her still huddled under the covers, staring in shock. Angel and Wesley they don't know what to make of this at all, her physical and mental state. Cordelia tearfully says that she's ready to wake up now. She recounts everything that happened the night before, recalling nothing unusual or out of the ordinary. She's even said it was safe, very, very safe. So she used protection of some sort. She doesn't say what sort of protection it is, but of course she mentions that yes, they slept together, but it was safe. Angel promises, to figure things out, and after discovering that the phone number Wilson gave Cordelia is no longer in service, Angel instructs Wesley to take her to an ultrasound to see exactly what they are dealing with, while he goes to hunt down Daddy. Starting a search at La Brea, Angel gains the bartender's reluctant trust and obtains information about Cordelia's friend Serena, who turns out to be ringleader of a group of attractive women hooking up with Wilson's group of well-heeled guys. They're the go-to, like they are the guys, So she's got this group of girls, and she gets girls. She's trafficking women and towards this group of men, essentially. So Angel, when he gets to her apartment, he cautiously enters, calling Serena's name. She answers, saying, in reference to the dimness by the candles, that the light hurts her eyes. Back turned, she tells Angel that she thought he was the liquor store delivery service. And when she turns around, Angel sees that she's just as enormously pregnant as what Cordelia is. And what she's trying to do is she's hoping if she drinks enough alcohol that it'll kill the pregnancy. So that could be another reason why it wasn't aired in the UK. This girl's trying to terminate her own pregnancy. Meanwhile, over at the clinic, the doctor and his assistant disapprove of the way Mr. and Mrs. Pangborn seem to have been caring for Cordelia's condition for the past 8.5 months. Pangborn being the name, fake name that Wesley has used when coming into the doctors. The doctor counts 7 heartbeats and, trying to conceal his agitation, orders the nurse to prep amniocentesis. That's probably completely butchered that word, but he wants to collect some of the fluid to test, the amniotic fluid, accepting the full syringe after the doctor has withdrawn the fluid. The nurse shrieks and drops the instrument, let's just say, and it smashes in the floor. Behaving like a powerful acid, the amniotic fluid rapidly eats a hole right through the tile, just like you would see in an Alien film. Excusing themselves, the doctor and the nurse pretty much run in terror. Wesley suggests that they try to find Angel, and Cordelia starts questioning Wesley about what's inside her. However, she isn't worried about the abnormality of it. She's worried that it might be unhealthy, so she's turning into the real Karen Muller at this point, which is starting to worry Wesley. Back over at Serena's apartment, Angel sits asking questions that could give him some clue to where this guy Wilson's at. When he asks whether there's anyone she can call on, Serena shakes her head and explains that Wilson and a few of the others are careful to select girls who have no family and few friends in the city. Just as it occurs to her to tell Angel that the money the guys use smells, and Serena suddenly doubles over with pain. So returning to Angel's, Wesley and Cordelia are exiting the elevator when she also doubles over with a sharp groan. Wesley leads her to Angel's bed and tries to make her comfortable. So, fading in and out of coherence, Cordelia asks Wesley what Wesley saw when he looked at the doctor's shoulder, the ultrasound monitor. She doesn't know what's in there, but she knows Wesley knows, so she's curious to figure out what's going on. When he begins to tell her, however, she already seems to know. Looking straight into his eyes for a moment, Cordelia announces that Wesley is scared of what's inside her. Then her gaze loses focus and her voice goes distance as she tells him she can sense the babies are trying to communicate with her. So, after he helps Cordelia lie down, Wesley turns to find Angel standing there watching what's going on. Wesley reports on what happened at the clinic, showing Angel the printout of the ultrasound. Angel tells Wes that Serena believes the guys hang out at the Guns and Cigars Club, but she doesn't know its name or location. So as they walk past the kitchen, they see Cordelia standing in front of an open fridge drinking blood out of one of the containers Angel's got stashed there. Nice little bit of comedy there from Angel, and he's like, I never had any clue just how disgusting that really is. You get her back to bed, sort of a thing. So he goes off to try and find these guys. So he tracks him down, this guy Wilson, to a shooting range at the gun club. Angel takes away the gun, confronts him about Cordelia, discovering the scent that Wilson is not a demon himself. You know, he can smell demons, so like, you don't smell like one of them. And Angel demands to know the identity and whereabouts of Wilson's demon lord, whoever's behind all this. When the rest of his mob turn up, Wilson gets to his feet and, accepting an loaded gun from one of his friends, shoots Angel 3 times in the stomach. To his shock, Angel doesn't fall, but shows his vampire side and says, "I really don't like it when people shoot me." So I love those little moments in these shows. Uh, he takes the other guys out by one and finally forces Wilson to talk. Wesley, in the meantime, discovers that Cordelia carries the spawn of a Haxel demon. When he shows her its picture and tries to comfort her, Cordelia bashes Wesley unconscious with one of his books, saying that he won't hurt her babies. So she's completely under the spell of whatever this thing is at this time. Yeah, Wesley is brought back to consciousness by the sound of the phone ringing. He answers it, and of course, it's Angel calling from a phone box. You know, at this point in history, mobile phones were only sort of coming into style. Not a lot of people had them, but on TV, they were still the trope of, you know, if you need to call someone, you need to get their phone box to get in contact with them. Just a little bit harder to contact people, which made it a lot more interesting for storytelling back in the day whenever you didn't have a full-time connection to people in your pocket. So, yeah, it's little things like that sort of edge this show. So, he is in the phone box, and he's taking the bullets out of his own stomach at this stage, you know, and he's ringing up to find out what's going on. They determine, they start comparing notes, and they work out that the spawn can't survive if the psychic umbilical the Hexai maintains with each of the hosts is severed. Listening to Wesley's catalogue of the Hexai beast's many strengths and few weaknesses, Angel suddenly has an idea and asks Wesley if he can shoot straight. Meanwhile, Cordelia and any of the other pregnant women have gathered together to an old refinery fronting the entrance of a cave where the demon resides at, and he is absolutely massive whenever he finally shows his face. They dress each other in these white gowns, and they climb into this waist-deep pool and stand in a circle and start to wait for this demon to appear for the birth of his offspring. Wesley arrives and tries to scold Cordelia and the others out of the pool, but is interrupted by the thunderous appearance of the gigantic Haxai demon beast emerging from its lair. The demon is about to remove Wesley and begin delivering its spawn when Angel appears, rolling a huge white tank down the ramp in front of him. So he lifts this massive tank, he whirls and launches it at the demon, who catches it. Before it can react, the liquid nitrogen label, now visible, Wesley shoots a hole in the tank. The tank, of course, busts open and sprays the vapours all around the demon, freezing it solid. With the psychic link broken at this point, the woman in the pool cry out in pain as the spawn they've been carrying suddenly evacuate their wombs. Cordelia climbs out, grabs a block and tackle from its anchor, and swings the heavy missile directly at the frozen Hexai, shattering it into 1,000 pieces. So a couple of days later, Cordelia returns to the office looking like her old self once more, and she tells Angel and Wesley about the dinner she'll have with a producer that night, and teases them about their concern that she's a lot stronger than those lesser demon surrogates. Cordelia then lets them know how grateful she is to have two people she trusts with her life, and explains that Wesley explains that he's dabbing his eyes because of allergies, where he's starting to get a little bit emotional at how nice she's been to him. But she does crack a joke about, this producer could maybe get me some huge job, so all I have to do is have his demon spawn for him. So she's battered and bruised physically and emotionally by the end of this episode, but she's trying to keep a bit of a straight face and a bit of a humour on it as well. Again, very, very good episode. I enjoyed this one simply because It's a good episode, not the best in the run. I did enjoy it simply because it was an episode that I hadn't seen at this point. Whenever I got the box sets bought on, I'd actually watched the end of season 1 before I made the decision to start collecting the box sets. So to see this episode been one that just wasn't aired on TV was a nice little treat. And yeah, so I would always recommend you checking out the official listings of episodes of a season you're into, no matter what it is. As I say, these days streaming pretty much gives you everything and anything whenever it comes to the series, but you never know where the censors are at or what they're trying to keep away from you. So yeah, definitely check out your listings on IMDb. Having said that, I have found in recent years that IMDb isn't as trustworthy as you would expect it to be. So the only safe way to work out if there's every episode is to actually check out the official box sets whenever they come out. So I've noticed IMDb, like, listings been completely out of order and everything. You might get every episode of the series, but not in the proper order that they come out on. So yeah, do your research on the shows that you love. Okay, that's going to do it for this little review on Angel. Once again, if you are enjoying the podcast, you can let me know via the email hellmouthhotline@gmail.com. Rate and review the show, share it along on your social media if you feel you want to do that. And until the next episode, stay safe, and I will talk to you all then. This has been a production of Coins Age Media. Thank you so much for listening.